Okay folks, so I have found an extremely important EV stock with a big catalyst coming soon. But I do need to give you some context first. So as you know, I've been extremely excited about the new priority of the federal government to replace the massive federal fleet with electric vehicles, and with their commitment to do it with American-based companies. But why am I excited? Well, one reason. The federal fleet is massive. There are 645,000 vehicles in that fleet. Meanwhile, at the same time, there's really only a handful of select manufacturers that even qualify for this, that can even carry out these orders. And that means that this executive push into EVs has been extremely bullish for some of the stocks that we've believed in here at ZipTrader for quite some time, like Workhorse and Lordstown Motors. And while I am incredibly bullish on those two stocks, the truth is that these two don't even scratch the surface of the demand and what's needed, even today with this new federal government executive order. I mean, you look at Workhorse, their commitment is to build 1,800 vehicles in 2021. We're looking at a massive fleet of 645,000 vehicles that need replacing. And that's just the federal government. There's also other companies, other state agencies and state local governments that also need replacing. So while Workhorse is great, 1,800 is just the tip of the iceberg. This order is going to benefit a lot more than just Workhorse. And then you go over to Lordstown. Lordstown is more on the light duty pickup truck side as compared to Workhorse's heavy duty. And while they have fantastic vehicles coming, they are still a year away from having any sort of meaningful production. So if you have a goal to electrify hundreds of thousands of vehicles on a country, state, and local level, and you want to do that in America, what options do you really have? What other options are there? What is another proven company that can serve the Biden administration and their push into EVs, can serve individual states like California and some of the other 10 plus states that are committing to adapting to EVs? What can also help serve many of the companies that are looking to electrify their fleets? Well, what about Proterra? Proterra is an already built, decades-old business that is made in America, has a proven business model, and has extremely strong ties to the Biden administration. And of course, before we talk about that, the only thing that I ask of you in return is that you hit that ravishing like button, and also don't forget to subscribe. And if you were wondering what broker to trade these stocks on, well, we like to always send people over to Webull. Webull is a phenomenal broker with great scanning capabilities, pre-market and after-hours trading, and a very reliable platform, especially when compared to the competitors. And you will get 4 free stocks if you sign up and deposit with our link below. Those stocks can be valued up to quite a lot, so make sure to check them out. Also, for the record, Webull is one of the first brokers to reopen and allow trading on popular tickers like GameStop and AMC. And unlike a certain broker with a feather on it, I don't know if you guys have heard of that one, but unlike that certain broker, well, Webull will not be restricting a massive list of trending stocks. So if you do want to have the ability to trade some of the best stocks, Webull is of course one of the best bets. Okay, back to Proterra. So Proterra just announced a few weeks ago that they will be going public via SPAC ACTC. And upon that announcement, shares in ACTC tripled. And now it's given back a decent chunk of that, making my mouth water because again, I'm a pathetic, cheap, and dirty trader. So when I see cheap deals, my mouth starts watering and oozing. Not oozing, that's gross, but definitely watering. In terms of the business model, Proterra has 3 main divisions. We have number 1, Proterra Power. This is their battery division, specializing in making powerful batteries for heavy-duty vehicles and helping companies electrify their own vehicles. They already serve major companies and have a wide array of experience in heavy-duty vehicles, so this isn't just promises, but they are looking to expand even more into garbage trucks, construction vehicles, fire trucks, semi-trucks. These are vehicles that are, of course, directly competing with Workhorse. And what's really special about Proterra's battery is that its versatile design has elements that can be used across the commercial vehicle market. One of the things that people often forget is that when you have a battery in a heavy-duty truck, that is a very difficult technology to master. Having a design that can be versatile and actually implemented across a wide array of commercial heavy-duty vehicles, that's a big deal. These can be used in buses, big trucks, last-mile vehicle delivery, even construction equipment. I mean, just a few days ago, it was announced that Proterra would be electrifying construction equipment for Komatsu. And every single year, their batteries have actually gotten cheaper, which is something that we obviously like to see because batteries should be getting cheaper over the time. Okay, and then you have the second division of Proterra, Proterra Transit. This is where they sell buses to transit agencies and enjoy a 50% market share, which makes them the leader. Their buses provide the longest range of any comparable electrical bus. Then you have the third division, Proterra Energy. Proterra Energy is their charging stations and their service of providing charging infrastructure to store, generate power, and deliver power to their fleets that they serve. Aside from using this to help companies that buy their buses and contract their batteries to set up infrastructure, they also provide very competitive equipment to do so in terms of speed of charging and an actual space needed to install these charging stations. In terms of leadership, they have a very impressive board with many members coming from Tesla, Mercedes, Honda, and some of the leading financial institutions. Sometimes I swear it seems like Tesla is like the training ground for all of the other companies. It seems like if you have experience at Tesla, pretty much everybody wants you. Proterra also happens to be based in a state that has the highest demand in current usage for buses, as well as gives out the most public funding. Okay, so we've established what they do, but why do I like them so much? Well, aside from the obvious that commercial EV and commercial bus demand is slated to grow massively in the next decade, and Proterra being placed in one of the states most apt to accelerate that trend first, well, Proterra is also not this new company that came out of nowhere. It's been producing vehicles for more than 10 years, it offers its own charging solution for buyers, and it also controls its own manufacturing capacity. They've drastically reduced their battery unit costs as well as their labor and overhead in the last several years. They've also had a strong list of already established valuable partnerships, and they've been able to boost production capacity and still scale up. And they did all of this all while qualifying for the Buy America Act, which would make it qualify for Biden's order that we need to be buying American EVs. Now, to go a little bit deeper, and this is where it gets interesting, I was looking into the board members of Proterra to see what connections they may have with large companies, state or local agencies, and look what I found. Mrs. Jennifer Granholm. She's on the board of Proterra. She also happens to be Biden's appointee for U.S. Secretary of Energy. Very interesting. I wonder what company she's going to suggest when Biden asks for company ideas on who to contract out this electrification of the fleet with. Wait, no, I'm stupid. Government officials never choose their own companies to contract with. That would be ridiculous. Of course that couldn't happen. That not in the United States. Jokes aside, Proterra is a very, very good fit to carry out Biden's agenda, and obviously it has very close ties to the White House. And if she gets chosen as the Secretary of Energy, Proterra is literally going to be in the White House. And this administration has talked about growing clean energy jobs in the US, as well as, of course, fulfilling Biden's pledge to electrify the entire US fleet. And how many other options are there for full American EVs and jobs than Proterra that manufactures its own vehicles in the red, white, and blue? I also think that Biden's EV secretary taking over the department will act as a huge catalyst for the stock moving forward. Now back to the lovely chart. So again, Proterra will be going public via SPAC ACTC. This will value Proterra at about $1.6 billion after this deal closes. And you compare that to Workhorse at $4 billion, Nikola at $9 billion, and Ride at $4 billion. And you start seeing that, hey, there's some potential here. With ACTC, and by that extension Proterra, you're getting a lot. You're getting a company that delivers a great leadership team. You're getting a company with a proven track record. You're getting its own battery technology, its own suite of clients, its own brand recognition, its own charging stations, and its decades plus of experience. Most importantly, you're getting access to one of the most valuable markets right now, the EV market, and broad exposure at that. Charging station exposure, battery technology exposure, equipping and electrifying already used vehicles exposure, direct exposure to a company that's actually making EV vehicles from scratch themselves. So you get kind of across the board access here. And of course, you're also potentially getting access to Biden's ear in the White House. And these are all things that make a very, very compelling case for ACTC to be a great deal. And in terms of the overall EV sector for heavy-duty commercial and governmental vehicles, there is no one company right now that is going to be able to meet all of the demand. And I think that this is one of those scenarios where a rising tide lifts all ships. But Proterra is certainly a strong ship on those rising seas, and ACTC will be one to violently watch. Okay, folks, well, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us in the comment section below, or join us on the lovely ZipTrader Circle Facebook group. If you'd like to learn how to trade, would like access to our private chat and daily morning briefings, we also offer ZipTrader U, which we'll go ahead and link to in the description below. And lastly, if you're wondering what broker to trade these stocks on, well, we always like to send new traders over to Webull, and you will get not 1, but 4 free stocks if you'll sign up and deposit with our link in the description below. Anyways, folks, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.